Welcome back, viewers. You're watching the Savera. I'm Shefali. India is unlikely to see an immediate increase in petrol and diesel prices, even as global crude oil prices have surged past $110 per barrel due to escalating tensions in the Middle East, according to government sources. Officials indicated that the government expects state-run oil marketing companies to absorb the current impact of rising global oil prices for the time being. This means retail fuel prices across the country are expected to remain unchanged in the near term, although OMCs may have to accept lower profit margin as international crude prices continue to rise. The global oil market has witnessed a sharp rally amid growing supply disruptions linked to the conflict in West Asia. US benchmark West Texas immediate crude jump about 27% to around $116 per barrel, while Brent crude oil surged nearly 28% to touch the same level. This marks the first time since 2022 that both major oil benchmarks have crossed the $100 per barrel mark. The price spike comes as tension intensify in the Middle East, particularly around the Strait of Hormuz, a critical maritime route that handles nearly one-fifth of the world's oil shipments. Disruption in this strategic shipping lane have triggered fears of short supplies, pushing global crude prices sharply higher. Despite these developments, domestic fuel prices in India have remained stable. Typically, India adjusts petrol and diesel prices in response to changes in global crude prices. However, during periods of extreme volatility or geopolitical uncertainty, the government has occasionally asked oil companies to temporarily observe the price and fluctuation increase instead of passing them on to the consumer. Earlier, on Saturday, government sources have also indicated that there was no immediate plan to raise petrol and diesel prices, noting that India's energy stock situation have been improving and supply chains appear to be stabilizing. The government's confidence is partly driven by efforts to diversify India's crude oil import section in recent years, indicating works to reduce its independence. In recent years, India has worked to reduce its dependence on oil transport through the Strait of Hormuz. Previously, about 60% of India's crude import came from the sources outside this strategic route. That share has now increased to nearly 70%, providing greater flexibility and reducing vulnerability to disruptions in the Gulf region. Sources also noted that some cargo shipments have already begun moving again through the Strait of Hormuz, suggesting that supply flows may gradually stabilize in the coming days. However, energy experts continue to warn that the situation could worsen if the conflict in the Middle East escalates further. Qatar's energy minister Saad Al-Kaabi recently cautioned that if the war continues for several more days, major Gulf exporters could declare force majeure, potentially halting oil and gas deliveries. Such a scenario could push global oil prices to as high as $150 per barrel and natural gas prices to around $40 per barrel MMBTU within weeks. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has defended the recent spike in oil prices, describing it a temporary consequence of confronting Iran's nuclear threat. According to him, oil prices are likely to stabilize once geopolitical tensions ease and energy supply routes return to normal. For now, Indian consumers are expected to see no immediate change in fuel prices as authorities closely monitor the global energy market and assess the evolving geopolitical situation. That's all for now in this update. Stay tuned to the Savera. Download the app, follow us on various social media platforms.